Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Chapter 6, Quadrilaterals and Other Polygons. Lesson 3, it says properties of the other parallelograms. So our main objective is to use the properties of the parallel lines, diagonals and triangles to investigate the parallelograms. So let's see what are some of the properties of the parallelogram. So first of all, a parallelogram is a quadrilateral with two pairs of parallel sides. Okay, that means that as you can see here from the arrows, that this line AB is parallel to DC or CD, and similarly this AD is parallel to BC. The opposite sides of the parallelograms are equal in length and opposite angles are equal in measure. When they say opposite angles are equal in measure, that means that this angle D is actually equal to angle B, and this angle A, let me show you with a different color. So angle A is actually congruent to angle C. And here let's discuss them now. It says alternate interior angles are congruent. That means angle 1 is congruent to angle 4 and angle 2 is congruent to angle 3. Whenever you draw a diagonal over here in the for example in the quadrilateral, and you know that this line is parallel to this one, so we get the pair of the alternate angles. So that's why angle 1 will be equal to angle 4 and angle 2 will be equal to angle 3. Similarly, the diagonal BD is the transversal of both the pairs of the parallel sides. Now this transversal that you have drawn here in the form of the diagonal, it is common, you can say, for both the triangles, this triangle and this triangle. And similarly, you can say that this is the, because of the reflexive property or because this is the common side, so it is equal in both the triangles. And we already know that this side is equal to this one and this side is equal to this one in measurement. So that's why you can see that these two triangles are actually congruent, right, by SAS property. Okay, now they are saying if AB is 4.5 centimeters, this one is 4.5 centimeter, what will be the measurement of DC? So as we discussed here, that the opposite angles and the opposite sides are same in measure, so that's why this one will also be 4.5 centimeters. Clear? Now let's discuss some of the theorems related to this objective. The first theorem 6.7, it says if a quadrilateral is a parallelogram, then its opposite sides are congruent. So if we think that the given quadrilateral is a parallelogram, it means this is the hypothesis. Then what is the conclusion? What can you conclude? That the opposite sides will be congruent. So as you can see here, this is the hypothesis given, that the opposite sides means this one is, let me take a color, this one is parallel to this one, and XY is actually parallel to WZ. So that's why we can say that the opposite sides are congruent. By keeping this theorem in mind, let's solve this example. It says what is the value of X. Now because we know that because they said quadrilateral PQRS is a parallelogram, so we know that it's a parallelogram. That means the opposite sides will be equal to each other or congruent to each other. So I can use 7x because I want to find x. So I can say 7x minus 3 will be equal to 2x plus 12. Either I can take these two sides to find the value of x, or I can take 5x minus 3 will be equal to 4x, right? Or I can take this side congruent to this one. So if you move this 3 to the other side and bring 4x over here, so we will have 5x minus 4x equals 3, and it will give us x equals 3. So we got the value of x, that the value of x is 3. Now they said what are the lengths of each side of the parallelogram. So maybe in the quiz or in the exam they will not ask you to find all the measurements of all the sides. Maybe simply they will ask you how long is PQ or how long is RS, right? So let's say first of all, if we want to find PQ, so the value of PQ is 4x. So let's substitute the value of x in it. So it says PQ equals 4x, so 4 times 3, so PQ will become 12. Because PQ is 12, this one is 12, that's why we can say RS will also be 12, because the opposite sides will be equal to each other. And if you want to put the value of x over here, so 5 times 3 will be 12, and 5 times 3 will be 15, and minus 3 will give you the same answer, 12. Now let's find how long is QR. Let me make it dark for you. Actually this is minus and this one is plus. Okay, so let's find the value of QR now. Let's say QR is equal to 7x minus 3, 7x minus 3. Let's put the value of x into it. So the value of x is 3 minus 3, so it will give us 21 minus 3, that will be 18, right? And if you want to check if this answer is becoming 18, so this value is actually equal to this one, so you can put the value of 3 here, so it will be 3 times 2, 6, 6 plus 12 will be 18, the same value. So that's why you can say the value of SP or PS will also be 18. Is that clear? Okay, let's see what do we have next. Next, theorem 6.8, it says if a quadrilateral is a parallelogram, then the consecutive angles are supplementary. What is the meaning of consecutive angles? Consecutive angle means, like, look at this, A, if I go to angle C, this is called, the angle C is called the opposite angle to angle A, right? But if I go to angle B or if I go to angle D, means the angles that you can say neighboring angles or the angles that are beside A, or the consecutive angles. So these angles B and D are actually the consecutive angles to angle A. Clear? So it means if whatever the value of A will be, if I add it to angle B, they will give me 180. Supplementary means their sum will be 180. Similarly, if you will add A to D, the sum of these two angles will also be 180. And there's also another way to understand it. For example, angle A is, let's say, 70 degrees. So the opposite angle will also be 70 degrees. How much is this angle? It is 110. For example, I don't know how much is this angle because these two angles A and B are supplementary. So what you can do, 180 minus 70, it will give you 110. So that's why the value of angle B will be 110, and because it is opposite to angle D, so angle D will also be 110. Because we know that the opposite angles are congruent. This theorem is about the consecutive angles. So that's why they are saying if you add A to B and then B to C, C to D and D to A, all these will give you, their sum will always be 180. Now look at the example that is given here. This is try it number 3. It says ABCD is a parallelogram. Find the value of angle A, B and C. So they want us to find that how much is this angle A, and then how much is angle B and how much is angle C. For angle B, it's very obvious and you can say simple because it is opposite to angle D, and the opposite angles in a parallelogram are always congruent, so the value of angle B will be 114 degrees. How can I find angle A? As I explained you here, because it is the neighboring or the consecutive angle to angle D, that means their sum will be 180. So if I want to find angle A, it will be 180 minus angle D. And how much is angle D? It is 114. So that's why the value of angle A will be 66 degrees, right? It will be 66 degrees. Okay, what will be the value of angle C? No need to find it, because if this one is 66 degrees, how much will be angle C? Because it is opposite to angle A, so this one will also be 66 degrees. Clear? Next theorem, it says it's 6.9. If a quadrilateral is a parallelogram, then opposite angles are congruent. So we already know that, we proved it on the last slides that the opposite angles are congruent. So that means if angle A is, whatever the value of angle A will be, it will be the same for angle C, and same is the case for angle B and D, because they are opposite angles. Okay, now here in this question they are saying use the parallelogram shown, find the value of A, and then they are saying find the value of angle G. So to find the value of angle A, we always need, remember, whenever we are trying to find the value of a variable, we need to make an equation. Now we know from the previous theorem that these are the two consecutive angles, so that's why their sum will be 180. If I make it dark for you, here we have the minus sign and here we have the plus sign. That means if 8a minus 5 and I add it into a plus 5, the sum will be 180. Clear? G and H are consecutive angles, so the sum of this and this will be 180. Now 8a and this a are like terms. I will add them. It will become 9a, and then I will cancel this negative 5 with this positive 5, because negative 5 and plus 5 will be 0. And on the other side we have 80. You can divide this side by 9 and you can divide this side by 9, so it will give us the value of a, that is 20, right? If you get the value of a, that is 20, it will help us to find the value of angle G. Now look at this. How much is angle G actually? It's given in the diagram that angle G is actually 8a minus 5. We can substitute the value of a to get the value of angle G. I mean, not angle a, means a variable a. So the value of variable a is 20. Replace it here, and then you can put all these values onto the calculator. So it will give you 155 degrees, right? Because 20 times 8 is actually 160. So minus 5, it will give you 155. Is that clear? Here is the next theorem, theorem 610. It says if a quadrilateral is a parallelogram, then the diagonals bisect each other. So if it's a parallelogram, the diagonals will bisect each other, means that this point will become the midpoint. Because look at this, this diagonal xz, and then we have another diagonal yz. They bisect each other, means that this will be the midpoint for both the diagonals. For example, if this one is, let's say, 4 centimeters, so how much will be this part? I mean, w to a is 4 centimeters, so a to y will also be 4 centimeters. Now let's say x to a is 3 centimeters, then a to z will also be 3 centimeters. That means this whole line is actually 6, and the point of intersection of the two diagonals, it is, you can say this is the point of this is the midpoint for both the diagonals, okay, where the diagonals meet, where the diagonals intersect. This point becomes the midpoint for both the diagonals, and half of the diagonal is here, half of the diagonal is here. If you want to know the whole value, you can add 4 and 4, and if you want to find, let's say if you know the whole value, you can divide it by 2 to get the half value, the half of the diagonal. Clear? Now look at this here in triad number 5. It says use the parallelogram RSTU with SU 35 and KT 19. Now where is KT? This one, K to T. This is 19, right? This part is 19. Now they are saying actually what they want you to find, they want you to find SK. So first they want you to find how much is this SK, and then in the second part they want to know how long is this RT, the whole line. Okay, now for SU, the whole line, let me highlight it for you. This whole line is how long? SU is, let's write it, SU is actually, it's given, it's 35. So if I want to find only SK, so as you can clearly see, SK is the half of SU, right? So that means you need to divide 35 by 2 to know how much will be SK. So it will become 17.5. So this part is 17.5, this green one. Okay, in the next part they are saying how long is RT. So this is RT, the whole line is RT. Now we know that KT is 19, so this part will also be 19. That means RT is actually the double of this 19. You can say 19 plus 19, or you can say 19 times 2. It will give you the, in both ways, it will give you the final answer, that is 38. Is that clear? Here is the concept summary. All the properties that we discussed in the theorems, all of them are written here. This side is showing angles of the parallelogram. So we know that the consecutive angles of a parallelogram are supplementary, opposite angles of a parallelogram are congruent. We discussed these theorems. This is about the supplementary angles and this is about the opposite angles. What can we say about the sides and the diagonals of the parallelogram? The opposite sides are congruent. And what about the diagonals? Both the diagonals, they bisect each other such that bx becomes equals to xd and ax becomes equal to xc. Right? Now let's solve some questions from the lesson. So here it says for exercise 5 and 6, use parallelogram ABCD. So we know that this is a parallelogram. That means we can apply all the properties that we learned for a parallelogram on this diagram. To find each length, the measure of DE is x plus 2. DE, this one, DE to E. Only this part is x plus 2. Now they said how long is BC. Remember, first we need to find the value of x because this variable is involved in all the measurements. So how can we find the value of the variable? Because we know this side is equal to this one, right? So I can use 3x minus 2 equals x plus 4 to find the value of this variable. So bring this x over here, it will turn into negative x, and this 2 on this side, it will turn into positive 2. So it's going to be 3x minus x equals 4 plus 2. So it will give us 2x equals 6. And then you can divide each side by 2 to get the value of x. So it will give us x equals 3. Now we got the value of variable. Now it's very simple to do the next steps. They said how long is BC. So look at this. How much is BC? BC is actually 3x minus 2. We can substitute the value of x. So the value of x is 3. So it will become BC equals 3 times 3 is 9. 9 minus 2 will be 7. Clear? In the next part, question number 6, it says find the value of BD. Okay, question number 6, how we will find BD? Actually, BD is equal to this part of BD is x plus 2. So if you replace x over here, it will become 3 plus 2, it will be 5. And this part will also be 5. So 5 plus 5 will become 10. This is one way to understand. Otherwise, you can write over here x plus 2 plus x plus 2. Why? Because BD is the whole line. That means this part, the red part is x plus 2 and the yellow part is x plus 2. So if you add them, it will become 2x plus 4. And now you can replace the value of x, that is 3. So it will give us 10. Clear? So if you are comfortable with this way, directly putting the value here, you can go in with this way. Otherwise, you can solve it in this way. Right? Is that clear? Here is the next question. It says find the value of, find each angle measure. So the way we did the tried question, it's the same thing. How will you find measurement of W, X, Y? This is W, this is X, this is Y, right? So they want you to find this angle actually because it is opposite to 99. So for question number 7, we can say the measurement of angle WXY will be 99 degrees. No need to solve it. Clear? So the value of WXY, it will be 99 degrees, right? Now to find XYZ, where is XYZ? XYZ. Now this angle Y, it is the, you can say neighboring angle, or it is the consecutive angle for angle C, right? That means if you want to find the measurement of angle XYZ, you should subtract 99 from 180. So it will give you 81 degrees, right? So this is question number 8. I hope it's clear for you. Very easy question. Next one, it says for exercise 9 and 10, use parallelogram EFGH to find each length. EJ. Where is EJ? This one is EJ. This one is EJ. So because this is the midpoint, both the diagonals, they bisect each other. So if you have 5, GJ is 5. So EJ will also be 5. So for question number 9, we can say that measurement of EJ will be, it will be 5. Right? Now to find FH, the FH is the whole line. Let me show you. FH, this is this whole line, right? Now this one is 4, so this one will also be 4 because this is the midpoint. So that's why you can say FH will be 4 plus 4, that will be 8. Clear? Next, it says for exercise 11 and 12, use parallelogram M and PQ to find each angle measure. We can see that this angle M and N, actually they are consecutive angles, so that's why their sum will be 180. This is the first thing. The second thing is, first we have to find the value of T to substitute here so that we can get the values of the angle. So step 1 will be to find the value of the variable. How can we find it? We can say 9t minus 2 plus 3t plus 14, the sum of both these angles. This is the one, this is angle M and this is angle M. So if we add N and M, the sum will be 180. Now clearly we can see that 9t and 3t are the like terms. We can add them, so it will give us 12t, and we can move these constant terms to the other side, so it will be 180 minus 14, and this 2 on the other side, it will turn into positive 2. Let's see what will be the answer for this. It is giving us 12t equals 168. Now divide each side by 12, so it will give us the value of t, that will be 14. Okay, now we got the value of t. Now next step is very simple. Let's solve question number 11 now. This is actually the you can say step 1 of question number 11. Now this is step 2 of question number 11. What is step 2? Now we will see what is the measurement of angle NPQ, and NPQ is this angle. It will have the same value like the opposite angle. That means it's actually 3t plus 14. Now substitute the value of 3, that is t, that is 14, and plus 14. So the final answer will become, let me check, it will be 14 times 3 and subtract from it 14, so it will be 28 degrees. Okay, so this angle will be actually 28 degrees. Now how can you find question number 12? It says find angle PQM. Here is angle PQM. So angle PQM will be it will be equal to this one, 90 minus measurement angle PQM. There are two ways actually to find this angle, because you got this one is 28, this one is 28, right? So this is the consecutive angle for angle P. So you can do it 180 minus 28. This way, this is the first way to understand it. So it will give us the answer 120. Let me check. 10 minus 8 will be 2 and 7 minus 2 will be 5. So it's going to be 152. Wait, let me check. I think I found this answer wrong. This answer is not actually 28, because 14 times 3 will be 42, and 42 plus 14 will be 56. So this is 56. Let's erase it. This one is 56. So you can subtract from it 56. So it will give us 10 minus 6 will be 4, and 7 minus 5 will be 2. It's going to be 124 degrees, right? This is one way to understand. The other way is you can substitute the value of t here. Sorry, not in this one. The value of t here, 9 times t, that is 14 minus 2. So it will also give you 124, because it will have the same value like angle P and Q. N and Q, they will have the same value. Clear? In the next question, they are saying what are the values of AB and DE in the parallelogram ABCD. Because it's a parallelogram, that's why the opposite sides will be congruent. So that's why this side will be congruent to this one, and if I make the other two sides with the green color, so that means we can find now the corresponding values. To find the value of AB, because it will be equal to DC, and DC, the measurement of DC is given 13. So that's why we can say AB is actually 13. So this is the first part of the question. The second part, it says find DE. This one, how long is this one? So we can see from here that AD will be equal to BC, mean the yellow line will be equal to the yellow one. So we can say that AE plus ED, because there are two parts for this one, AE plus ED, the sum of these two will be equal to BC. If you put the values into it, AE is given 19, but ED is not given, so leave it, and BC is given 24. Now move this 19 to the other side, so it will become 24 minus 19, wait, it's 19, so it will give us ED equals 5. Is that clear? And how you can check your answer? If you substitute it over here 5, so 19 plus 5, the sum of the line should be 24. Next question, it says quadrilateral MNPQ is a parallelogram. What is NQ? Now where is NQ? Actually this line is NQ, so they want to know how long is this NQ. So we can find, first we should find actually the value of x. How we can make the equation, because in a parallelogram this is the midpoint, that means this part will be equal to this one. So we can make an equation, x plus 6 will be equal to 10, and it gives us x equals 10 minus 6, that will be 4. So the value of x is actually 4. If this one is 2x, so this one will also be 2x. If you substitute the value of x here, that means it will be 2 times 4, and here it will also be 2 times 4. So this one is becoming 8, this one is becoming 8. So total length of NQ will be how much? It will be 8 plus 8, that will be 16. Is that clear? In the next question, we have many variables involved. They are saying find the perimeter of the parallelogram. So to get the perimeter of this parallelogram, we need to find B so that we can see how long is this line. Then we need to find C to know how long is this line segment, right? Because the perimeter means to go around, how much distance is around this shape, or in simple words you can say that if we add all these 4 sides, what will be the sum? That is called the perimeter. So to find the perimeter, first I need to find the values of the variables A, B and C. Here you can see this red line is showing that from here to here it's 2a minus 4, and this measurement is given 3, and this measurement will also be 3, because in a parallelogram both the diagonals they get bisected and this becomes the midpoint. So if this part is 3, this part will also be 3. So we can make the equation 2a minus 4 will be equal to 6. So we can say 2a equals, move this 4 to the other side, so it will become 6 plus 4, that will be 10. So we can divide each side by 2 to get the value of a. So it will give us a equals 5. So we got the value of the first variable. Now let's see how can we find the value of the variable b. You can see from here 4b minus 6 is equal to a minus 1. So let's find for b. 4b minus 6 is equal to a minus 1. Put the value of a into it, so the value of a is actually 5. So 5 minus 1 will be 4, and we can say 4b equals 4 plus 6. I move this 6 to the other side. Okay, wait, let me remove this from here. So it's giving me 4b equals 10, and now you can divide each side by 4, so it will give us the value of b equals 2.5, right? So we got the value of b, that is 2.5. What next now? How can we get the value of c? Now you can see this side will be congruent to this one, so we can say let's do the third step. So we can say c minus 2 is actually equal to 2b. Now put the value of b into it, that is 2.5. So it will give us c minus 2 equals 5, and now move this 2 to the other side. So c equals 5 plus 2, that will be 7. So we got the values of all the variables. Now what can we do now? Now put the values of these variables here. So 2b means 2 times 2.5. So 2 times 2.5. So actually this whole side will become 5. So if this side is 5, this side will also be 5. 12 minus c means 12 minus 7, so it will give us 5, so this side will also be 5. That means all the sides are congruent to each other. So if we want to find the perimeter, we need to add all the 4 sides, so it will give us 5 plus 5 plus 5, that will be 20. Clear? Let's solve. What do we have? Let's see what do we have next. So the next question, it says, in the parallelogram ABCD, which angle is congruent to angle ABC? For such cases or for such questions, the best way is to try to draw the parallelogram for you, or any quadrilateral that they want you to draw. First draw that parallelogram or that quadrilateral. So let it A, B, C, D. This is how you have to name the quadrilateral. Remember, whenever we are writing the letters A, B, C, D, we have to write them in a sequence. In a sequence means I cannot write over here, let's say with my choice, I cannot say this is B and this is C. No. If you are going from this way, A, B, C, D, you will start from here like this, right? And let's say if you want to go from this side, then this point will become B, C and D. Now they want to know that which angle is congruent to angle ABC. So this is the angle they are talking about. So which angle is congruent to this one is actually angle D. So we will check now. This is not angle D, this is not angle D, this is not angle D. So we have angle D only here. That because always the angle that we want to consider, we put the letter of that angle in the center of the two letters, right? So this is the answer. Is that clear? Now I want you to pause the video here and solve this challenge question on your own. It will be of 2 steps. First you have to get the value of the x, and then you will find the value of angle N. Clear? Pause the video here, solve it on your own, and then play the video to check your answer. Here is the solution for this challenge question. In step 1, we can see that these are the 2 opposite angles. So you will find the value of x by making the equation that 6x minus 2 will be equal to 4x plus 36. It gives us the value of x, that is 19. Then you can substitute the value of 19 into any of these 2 angles. Just to explain you, I have substituted in both of them. The value of angle P is becoming 112, and the value of M is also becoming 112, because these are the opposite angles. To find the value of angle N, because angle N is supplementary to angle M, that's why the sum of these 2 will be 180. And if I want to know one of them, if I will subtract this 112 from 180, it will give me the value of angle N. Is that clear? Here we have some more challenge questions. Better pause the video here, try to solve these on your own, and then play the video to check your answers. Here is the solution for both the challenge questions. In question number 2, they want us to find the value of PZ. So we can see here that they have given us an equation WY plus XZ equals 28. Now PZ from here to, they want us to find PZ. So WP is given 8. And PY will be the same because P is the midpoint. So we can also write over here 8. That means WY, the value of WY will be 16. So you can replace WY by 16. And the next step is very simple. Move it to the other side. So it gives us the value of XZ, this whole line XZ. So XZ is actually 12. So how much will be XP? It will be the half of XP. Here it's not PZ. It's yes, it's PZ. So they said find PZ. So PZ will be actually the half of this XZ. Clear? They said find PZ. So PZ will be this line will be the half of the whole line XZ, that is 12. So it's becoming 6. In the second question, it says if XZ is 7x plus 1 and PZ is 4x minus 1, what is XP? Now they are connecting this XZ, this whole line XZ with PZ, with this red line, right? So if you multiply this red line with 2, it will become equal to the whole line XZ. So you can say 7x plus 1, this is the whole line, will be equal to 2 times the half, that is given 4x minus 1. if you solve this equation, remove this bracket and then move the like terms on, like x terms on one side, the constants on the other side, it gives us the value of x, that is 3. Now you can substitute this value of x3 to find xp, because they said, let me write it over here for you, they said pz is 4x minus 1. If this pz is 4x minus 1, that means xp will also be 4x minus 1. And now substitute the value of x, that is 3 here, and it will give you the answer, that is xp is 11. That means option A is the correct option. That's all for this lesson. Hope you understand it.